What's up, guys? It's Anime Alex here, coming back with another anime review, and this is going to be on chapter 310 of Seven Deadly Sins. Yes, I know I'm 2 days late. I had finals. What more do you want from me? Alright, anyways, so this is said to be the climax, as what's the chapter, uh, and you will be in for a little treat. Alright, so the chapter starts as the weather is cold, it's snowing. Apparently, you're seeing thunderstorms rain down. And apparently, according to Hauser, who is shivering, while Grimoire is like looking unaffected by it. Hauser is saying it's not even winter, so obviously there's weird weather patterns going on. Elizabeth packs a small, decent amount of clothes in this heart-shaped bag, and then we're on to the next page, where Elaine is talking to Elizabeth, seeing if she's going to be okay living there and abandoning all of her friends, and she's basically all cheery, thinking that, oh, yeah, it's gonna be all right as long as I'm with Meliodas, which fair enough. They've spent like thousands of years of, or El- Elizabeth has spent thousands of years dying and being reborn, and Meliodas has just spent thousands of years. Okay, so everyone is preparing for the departure of Meliodas and Elizabeth. Uh, Elaine just tells her it'll be okay. She respects her decision about choosing to stay by the one that she loves. Yada yada this and yada yada that. This chat or this panel, which I actually personally like, is a panel on Hawk actually looking up in the sky while it's snowing and then singing his brother's song or goodnight song, the whole mild good night, my darling little brother, and he basically just says nice and laughs or giggles, and I thought it was really like heartwarming because I really did like Wild. Rest in peace, Wild. Thought he was best pig. And then next page is Diane is on like just sprawled out on the table, like has her arms crossed, and she's wondering what the demon realm is like. Everyone's just kind of questioning her. Everyone's like looking at her. You see uh, Fairy King Harley Quinn in his winged form just pat her on the head, trying to comfort her while they're in the boar hat. Merlin explains that the demon realm is a polluted and corrupt land covered by something called miasma, Miasma. Uh, I I don't know what it is, but that it's apparently something in this uh the Seven Deadly Sins world. I think it's the stuff what purgatory is made out of. Um, and they say that vicious beasts like Indra roam around about there. Indra's obviously being when a demon sacrifices like 8 of their hearts, because I think they have 9. I forget. It's been a long time since we've seen it. The only Indra forms we've seen was from Mont Speed and Derriere. So after that, we've never seen an Indra form. Uh, we've never seen an Indra form after the whole King and Diane going back in time for their whole little training arc. Anyways, just like Purgatory, the demon realm will rob the other races of their minds and bodies. They're prone to rot and decay over there. But apparently, the angels can survive there because according to Merlin, she says because of Elizabeth's powers, she will be able to survive or she'll be all right there. So I'm guessing all the goddess clan can just like go over there and be unaffected. I mean, makes sense kind of. So, anyways, more of the more of the sins are just talking. You have a panel where uh Escanor is there as his scrawny self. By the way, with talking to Gother, and by the way, I don't, I I don't think Escanor has sunshine anymore. I think Mel is going to stay the holder of sunshine. I think Escanor at this point is just an old man, 40, I think 47. I don't know. He's in his 40s last time I checked. Um, he's just an old man at this point. And just I think he's gonna live out the rest of his life as a normal human, probably running his own bar. Good for him. Even though we're not gonna see Praise the Sun Escanor anymore, like Macho Man Escanor anymore. Anyways, anyways, in the next panel, it's Meliodas asking if Elizabeth wanted to see the demon realm with him and if she's okay with it, like if she's like 100% ready for the sacrifice she's about to make. And Elizabeth basically doesn't regret anything. She's all for it, 100%, ride or die right there. Now, I love this part because all the sins are just kind of like they're upset about it. Obviously they don't want them to go. They obviously will miss them. And the funniest part is that Meliodas says the one thing he regrets leaving the seven deadly sins is that when Elizabeth and Meliodas has a child, they won't see him or her, whatever their child's gender name is, they won't see their child fight Bonds and Elaine's child, and I thought that was really funny. And then it gets even funnier when Diane and King blurt out and saying, "What about their child?" So I thought that was a really feel good moment because it's like keeping the rivalry strong through the generations, and then apparently King and Diane wants to get on that rivalry, which is fine because King is like third strongest sin or was the third strongest sin right behind Bond. So, eh. Anyways, so as in the next chat or paid panel, we see that Meliodas is actually reminiscing about his whole journey to erase the curse, and they were saying how, and he was just reminiscing about how a lot of people have died at this point, and they even mention Arthur, and apparently a rumor has it that another continuation of the series will have Arthur as the main character, which I don't know because he's saying how he's upset that Arthur apparently died, and he was saying how he would have been a great king. So I guess it's confirmed that Arthur is dead. And on the side panel, Meliodas also remembers how he let his brother die twice, but they said Zeldris like disappeared after the war. So I don't know if this is like if he's saying how Zeldris died twice, so now he's down a few hearts. I think that's what Meliodas is trying to convey in this sentence. Instead of, like Zeldris actually dying twice. I don't know, that it it was pretty confusing to me, but then he was saying how he deserved to rot in hell, like he was just, you know, beating himself down basically, and then Gother and Escanor tells him that he's done a lot of good. All the seven deadly sins reassured him that he's a good person at heart, even though a lot of bad stuff has happened around him in cause of his journeys. And so Meliodas thanks the sins and then declares that the seven deadly sins by this date is disbanded. Hawk actually wants to go back to purgatory to build his brother a grave, which I thought was really cool and sweet. And I was like, hey, that's cool. Hawk is trying to learn more about the place that he came from. So I thought that was interesting. Maybe if Hawk goes to purgatory and comes back, if the series will continue, he'll be all furry and hairy, just like Wild. Maybe. And then everyone's saying their goodbyes and crying. And as Merlin opens the portal, here is where the craziest thing ever happens. We it looks like the series is winding to an end. Elizabeth is basically monologuing to herself about saying goodbye, and she hasn't regretted a single thing that she's done up until now. And right and as Meliodas says goodbye everyone, the portal just crashes and breaks. We don't know what happened, but apparently the portal crashes on Elizabeth, and all you can see in the last panel is Meliodas screaming Elizabeth, and Elizabeth's bag is underneath the rubble. So we don't know if Elizabeth died. And I've seen a lot of theories. There is the theory of the supreme deity is still a threat and still at large. They haven't taken her down, so that might be the next like step. Here, I'll get into my theories afterwards. So I've seen the supreme deity did this. She's still at large. She's probably going to be the next villain. We have seen that. I've seen a theory that Elizabeth probably had two curses put on her, one for dying every 3 days, and the other one for being resurrected. So, and people are theorizing that Meliodas destroyed the resurrection curse and not the dies in 3 days curse. And I'm just thinking to myself, Meliodas, I know you thought you destroyed the curse, but I mean, I wouldn't have taken a risk. I would have been like, hey, I'm going to wait out these 3 days right next to Elizabeth to make sure nothing happens. And then on the fourth day, we can do something and we can go back home. That's besides the point in plot, our plot. That's besides the plot. As we know what the climax is, it's the whole like it's like the mountaintop of a story. And so maybe the series isn't ending and the whole epilogues were winding or is trying to get it to where the reader thinks the series is winding down for a conclusion, and then bam, 180 and we're back into like another adventure, which I thought this was really funny. It was a really troll thing to do by Nakaba. And I was shocked, but I was laughing at the same time at this page, even though it was like was supposed to be really emotional and sad. I was just like, oh my god, yeah, that is. I thought to myself, that is pretty like just kind of hilarious. But hey, more Seven Deadly Sins, so I'm not complaining. Maybe we'll get to see Bond's sacred treasure and Bond being the strongest sin because his potential still not unlocked fully without the use of his sacred treasure. Anyways, my theory about the thing about all of this is that yes, I think the supreme deity had something to do with this death, and I feel as if the next arc will be Meliodas having to go up to the supreme deity or up to like some spiritual world, something to try to get back or try to resurrect this form of Elizabeth and try to bring her into back to the real world or the demon world. And he's going to call upon the seven deadly sins for the last time to help him with it. This also could mean to see the resurrection of Arthur, because Merlin could be all like, I know where all souls go, because she's all knowing apparently, so she could be, or she could guide them to where they need to go, and then when they go in there they could get um, Elizabeth's soul back, they can get Arthur's soul back. Hell, maybe they can even get Mild Soul back, or Wild Soul back. I know if they got Wild Soul back, his sacrifice is kind of like, a bit meaningless and meaningless, but I feel like it's still like they would never have needed to go and get the souls unless something like this happens. And I feel that Meliodas in the end will probably end up sacrificing himself in exchange his life for Elizabeth's or the other people to bring them back. That's my theory about it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.